Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. So, welcome to first session of the day. And actually, I'm not going to present the session. So, this is going to be Ellie. And Ellie, I will let you present your projects. So, if you want to change the camera, I will keep the mic and I will sit here.
Should I change the camera now?
Whenever you want. I mean, you can present yourself.
Okay. Okay, so hi everyone, my name is Ellie, and before we start with Oversyn and the gamification of DAO, I would like to say a few words about myself, but I'm going to change the camera first. So yeah, so here we are. We are in 42 in Madrid with a bunch of students excited by the bootcamp. And so I will tell you a few words about myself, why I'm here, and my journey through the ICP. I've already shared some bits of it, so maybe you already know some stuff, but still, I'm going to say it another time. So I started the first Motoko Bootcamp with Seb, and I did not know programming at all, and I was really excited by the technology, and also I always had like a curiosity about programming. That's something that was a bit I was a bit afraid, but something I was attracted to at the same time. So from that point, I decided I needed to learn programming, and I started to do the piscine in 42 Lausanne in Switzerland, and the piscine went really well, like much better than I expected. And I was not sure at that time if I wanted to do the full cursus because I'm 33 and I need to have my life, and nobody is like helping me. So I did not know. I knew it was a huge time investment. But like it was circumstances in my life, separation that made me have some time, and I said, okay, I'm going to give it a shot. And I spent like I think 9 months, like 50 hours a week in 42 like of log time, and I went like as fast as possible. And I was a little bit working next to it, but I had also like some luck, let's say. And so I finished in June, and from that point, June of this year, from that point, I decided to start to build on the IC, which was my idea at the beginning. But I have to say that I did not do 42 only to learn programming. I was also really curious about the self-management of the school, how for me, it's an avant-garde school where the model with gamification, where you are your own teacher with other students, I think is the future, not only in programming, but in general. So I was curious of doing the social experiment too. Why I was curious about that is because I've done a lot of association in my life, and it's like you're not getting paid, but you can organize community, and I really like to start projects, start communities. And I have done that through since I was 20 until today. I'm still like launching new project like Oversyn, but now it's more of a startup. But before it was more association. But I had a few things that was not working for me. Like in association, some people they put a lot of effort, and it's not necessarily recognized as effort. And also some people they put barrier, even though they not contribute too much to the group. So sometimes I was frustrated with the group experience. And also I'm kind of rebel. So of course I have worked in my life for corporation or for small enterprise, but not a lot, like just what I had to, because the centralized power or the authority, I was like, yeah, I'm a bit of rebel, not too much, but a little. And so when I started to understand that the potential of gamification and also the potential of DAOs, that you can there is a potential to reinvent management and just how group behave. I really wanted to explore that more, and that's how my interest into the DAO started, because I think with Bitcoin, it's very clear how the cryptocurrency, they can get rid of the bank. You know, this concept of get rid of middleman, you know this? Yeah. So I think with DAO is with group, with management is not that clear how much we can get rid of central authority, but I think to some extent, and that's I think why we are here with Seb, at least that's one of the reasons, is how we can like manage a group or initiative with less like centralized management, and how a DAO can help with that. So now for Oversyn.
Yeah. You need the okay, yeah.
What do we need?
No, okay.
It's good.
Sorry. You need to share the screen for the person.
Yes. So Zoom.
Yeah. Share screen. You can go to basic in the top.
Basic.
Yeah.
Desktop.
And yeah, desktop.
Okay. So Oversyn. So actually it's the Oversyn, and I'm going to tell you why later. So the Oversyn, it's a gamified society app that we started to build with Alex, who is just behind you. We started to do it in September. We code it like really fast, and it's like a MVP that we are not using because that was our first app on the IC. And I'm going to show you the live app, but it's very slow. So for me, it's no point in using it. But still, it was the first experiment to understand how things work on the IC and try to make something concrete of the vision of gamification. You are going to see that it's heavily inspired from 42. And so the idea is to have a platform where you can generate social DAOs that you can use for many different group settings. And there is this main platform that generates this DAO that can be like a way to interconnect this DAO between each other. Because now there are a lot of DAO generators. Mainly they are focused on you make a treasury with a group, and then you do whatever you want to do with this treasury. You try to take a direction, but there is no like intercommunication between this DAO. And I think I'm going to go more into details, but I think with gamification, with DAO, we can like create something like a review of how you contribute to the world. That could be like next level LinkedIn, like next level WhatsApp, or that you can truly like create an avatar that represents yourself, that nobody has to know that it is you, just that there is an avatar that represents what you have done in the world. And then people, they can reach out to you. They say, okay, I want this avatar, whom I don't know who or she is. And I want this because I know that he or she has done this, and all this DAO. So this DAO, we don't call them DAO because DAO is just a word, and people now they start to be like controversies about DAO. So it's like a word, maybe it was a buzzword, but now I think I don't know if it's a good idea to use it or not. So we call this gamified societies. And one of the idea is that with gamification, we can boost engagement, because in corporation and in school, you can see this number. For me, it's very alarming that every year people, they are less and less motivated. They just want to go their degree. They want to do the thing they have to do to live, and it's like okay, the world is going upside down and stuff, so I need to like hurry and stuff. And like the engagement, people, they are not so happy about what they do, and they don't give their maximum. And so with my experience at 42, I can confirm a bit that, and I would like to be also to have your opinion how it is in 42 Madrid, because in Lausanne we have the cursus, which is gamified, and we have like the staff of the school, but the social aspect has to be organized by the students. And this, not so many students, they are motivated because I have to do my cursus. Why would I do that? I'm not getting paid. There is no outside recognition. And of course, some students, they want to do it because they have like something inside themselves. They are more community oriented, which is nice. Or when there is no one, there is still someone who at least does a bit of this thing. And so for me, that's that's a challenge that 42 has to keep like a community thriving. And we know that gamification is not something new. It's something that has been around since like more than 15 years, I think. There are several corporations that uses it, but most of the time it's like very basic gamification. Like you get a badge, you get points, you get I don't know, like level or experience, which is already good. But we know that even if it boosts engagement in the long term, maybe it doesn't work. And also in the crypto world, I don't know if you know a little bit of this, but there are many like engagement platforms such as Zilli that offer a leaderboard and experience for whatever task. Like if you're an app, you can subscribe to Zilli and you can say, okay, if some user does this task, you get rewarded with token or with many different things. So it's very trendy at the moment, and I think it's going to get bigger. And for us as a student at 42, it may feel natural gamification, but it's the way 42 does it. I think it's still under the potential is not fully utilized, and I truly think that they are also avant-garde with this way of like doing organizing the cursus, the learning cursus. So the question I have for school, corporation, or any kind of group, and that I have also for 42, is that what would happen if we create a gamified environment for the whole school experience? How you would like be motivated to engage in social activities if you knew that you would get like also achievements, you would get like some experience, you would get an avatar that evolve, and you would get also this avatar can be seen from the outside world, and when you get a job, like you can, like people can see that you have done, okay, you have done the cursus, but not only, you have also organized like events in the school, like presentation or anything that you did that is not recognized by the cursus, but that is very valuable. So with the version of Oversyn we have now, so we have this gamified society. So you have your avatar with level, you have a token that you can try to use for your community. Can you manage to create a small economy within your group? Like how will it be organized? You have achievement or certificate, so that just as I said, to be recognized not only inside the community but outside. And then you have DAO governance, which means that you can vote on a proposal for any kind of thing you want. And for us, that was the basic, but for sure, many more features can be implemented. So I can show you the app that we have done. So, oh, by the way, if you have any question, just interrupt me. For me, it's better to have kind of discussion, even if like all the presenters say that, but really, if you have something to say, just start to speak. So it's like this. No, it's not this. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the app. So it's on the, you don't register to this because you are many chances that it will crash the app. one of the problem we had is like images because the ICP when you get to the canister and you get information, what the canister send you back, you have a limit of 3 megabytes per call. And so images, it's really quickly like overflow this limit. So now it's kind of working, but still it's if we had like many new users with images, there are chances it will crash. So this, the internet identity, this number is not something that is private. It's you can show it to people. It's no problem. Oh no.
You need to go in the bottom left.
Use browser.
Yes. And then you can click on the cross.
Okay. Okay. So it takes like about 7 seconds. Ah no, it's quicker. Okay, so that's my profile. So it's a bit like 42. You have your avatar with the balance of your token. You have your level. I'm level 18. You have the proposal. You have my achievement and the event. And so as you can create proposal, like there is and then you can vote on proposal. Like this one I haven't voted, so I'm going to vote no. And if I reload the page, yeah, so 100% voted no. And one thing that we added is that the weight of your vote depends on the level of your avatar. For example, I'm level 18, and if someone level 1 vote and I vote, he would yes and I vote no, I will get like 90% no because I have much more influence than him on the vote. But that's something we can like we don't have to have more influence because we have more experience. That's something we can decide on the proposal. So you can create events that are going to be rewarded with experience and with token. You decide. You have a leaderboard where you can see all the other people who are in your DAO. You can click on someone and you can see like what he or she has. All these members, they are just people who, because we did an accelerator with Alex in Turkey, and so that was people who were trying our app the first time, and they subscribed. And I give them an achievement. That's why they are level 4. The 21st people who registered to our Oversyn, they got the achievement, and to be the first 20 member, and that's why they get experience. So, and you can change everything. You can, if you want, you can change the the color, the setting of your DAO all the time, and you can also create like a new society. I hope it works. Why don't? Yeah, I don't know. It was working this morning. I don't know. So you can basically what's happened if you create. Yeah, if you create a new society, you will create exactly what you have seen here, but just that you are the owner of this, and you can start to invite people to join it. You can start to invite people to vote on proposal. You can give them achievement, and doesn't work.
Maybe we need to.
No, this one I know it doesn't work.
Okay.
But craft should work.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
it's not opening right now.
So, so what you see here, all societies and my societies, then you can see what part of in which DAO you are and which part you belong and what you belong not, and you can request to join a different DAO. So it's not the idea was really to create like a generator of DAO that with basic gamification element any kind of group can use.
Okay, so I have a few questions.
Yes.
So the first one is more on the application. Who do you think you would target to use it? So do you think it should be a service for like DAO leaders, people that want to start their DAO maybe, or their society? Have you discussed with someone that would be interested? And I see that you have a lot of features. So yeah, usually when we build an application, it's really, tempting to add more features.
Yeah.
But what is the number one feature that you think is important for the people that you are targeting?
So we stopped the development of this app. So that's why now it's a bit messy and we don't like to spend so much time to fix the little issues. Is because we realize that how do you say? Yeah, you can, as you say, you can add many features and people you can do so many things. But for me, it's more important to start with a small group of people and say, okay, you need this and this feature. We build something that you can use, and then go to another community and say, okay, you need this and this feature, and then we build it or with you or for you, I don't know, and then we add like feature by feature so that we have a real use case, and that's why also I'm with you, and now I want to help you to build a DAO for this community, because I think the use cases are more important. And for you and for the Motoko Bootcamp, what is important is to have different roles, and that for sure that this code base for me is one of the more important thing, is that the GitHub could be like DAO managed, to have the pull request, to have all of this, so that everyone who can contribute, then we can vote if it's accepted or not. And this role thing is going to be in every DAO, so we have to start to experiment. And so this is, and also of course, because people who are here like you are already interested or convinced by the ICP, so it's much easier to create a group of community of users here. But in 42, as I said, there is not everyone is motivated to do the social aspect. So in January, there is like Office of the Student that we have in Switzerland in 42, and they would they want people to be invested. So I'm going to share this and say, okay, we have this program, this app that I can build, I can manage it, but if some people wants to contribute and to help make an experiment to manage the school with a DAO, or at least the social aspect, and see what is if the students they are interested in that or not. And there is also like a junior enterprise. You have this here? No? So they have launched this, or they are launching now, but it's been a year that they are working on it, and they are open to start to be gamified, because they are students from 42. They understand the benefit of gamification and say, okay, so as someone who started the junior enterprise, I can get my avatar that level up, experience and stuff. So they understand the benefits. So for me, that would be the first steps. But could be any kind of group. I have a meditation group, and I think it would benefit to have a DAO structure, and I'm willing to try. And actually, I've made a list of all the groups or the people I knew whom I would like them to try something like this. Does it answer the question, or?
Yes, it answers the question, definitely. And my second question was about gamification in general, so it's more broad. But so we're seeing more and more gamified aspect in life, and also we have virtual reality.
Yes.
We even have those concept of glasses that would add kind of features to the real world in real spaces. My question is more a challenge for you. If we gamify everything, and I think it's good, because I mean we could make everything fun, but if we gamify everything and everyone is living in its own reality, isn't there a danger to that? Because I mean, when you build a game, you build a story, and we could make everyone kind of live in their own, story, where that would be good for themselves. They see maybe the world in a way that makes them feel good. But isn't there a danger that we are all going to live in different reality, and there is not a common ground that we can work together on?
A common what?
Common ground.
What do you mean by common ground?
A common story. If we invent stories, so that's super cool, to invent stories, but there is also a reality sometimes of life that we agree. Let me give an example.
But I can already share what
I don't have a good example coming to my mind, but it's if you add story to the reality, you can go far. You can invent things. You can invent a reality where you are a hero, and you are saving the world, and or your whatever, you have a lot of money or whatever, you can build your, I mean, okay, my example is this gamification to the extreme is going to be World of Warcraft, for example. You have an avatar, and you have a lot of levels. Maybe you make money,
Yes.
but then there is also the reality, and like some people, there was impact with this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my question basically.
Yeah. So I think that with every initiative, there is good and bad. And for me, there is this is what I'm presenting. I think it's inevitable because of the the current situation of the society. I think it will evolve in that way because we need to find people way to engage people. And also for me, I think it's much funnier to have avatars with like a sword, with like a cape, with like a ring of fire, or I don't know, than to have Facebook profile or LinkedIn profile. And people, they don't have to know you're a man, you're a woman, you're whatever in between, and they, they don't need to know about this. If they know that there is someone who like does what he or she wants, he needs. I think it's enough to have like kind of a review of that person. And yeah, of course, there are bad aspects because it's like you are giving like everything of your you're sharing information about you with many different aspects. But also, I think we can like we can choose what data we share and what data we share not, and that's one of the advantages of Web3. And I also think that one of the possibility is that I think in the future, so there will be this avatar that represents a person, but there will also be the possibility that group of individuals create one avatar that will be managed by several individuals, and people, they will not know that there is like several people behind, because like let's say you are a group of friends and you all know coding, and you want to do mission coding, so you create this avatar that is managed, because with ICP it's very easy to do something like this, that are controlled by several persons, and this avatar evolves through this like kind of setting of different DAOs, and people, they just contact this, and it's like entity that exists, but it's not represented by anyone. And so the avatar, they can have their own reputation and pass one person to the other, like detached from one individual. But I think it's very far vision. And also I've shared that with you, Seb, but I think that corporation, we have a logo, we have a name for corporation, but corporation, people, they don't like corporation. It's like big thing, like dark, and we don't know what's happening and stuff. But people, they like humans, they like things like human nature, like us, So if we have avatar that represents society or that represents a corporation, that I think it's something that could be way more motivating. Like if we take 42, like if you can create an avatar of 42 that has a personality that is fed by different like head of 42, I don't know, just crazy ideas. But I think it's how it's going to be, and that's what people call metaverse, something like this. And it's very much connected to, it's actually only connected to what you do in real life. So yeah, I don't know if I answered the question.
Do you mean like a character? So I know that 42 already has a character. I've seen like a little robot in a few places, like,
but it's only here.
Kind of a mascot. Okay, it's only here.
Yes.
It's only in Madrid. But do you mean like some kind of mascot that you maybe add like artificial intelligence,
Yes,
and you feed
exactly.
based on how the DAO is composed and what people think would be representing
with
the DAO?
Values of the corporation and stuff, and people, they interact with like something that looks like a human,
and that's the brand, like that's the future of branding.
Yes, I think
okay,
so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I have more questions, but I don't know, maybe like some of you have questions? No?
So I just would like to finish with this interconnection of DAO, because so this gamification of DAO is not something that exists. Gamification already exists, the DAO already exists, but to put this together, it does not exist. And this aspect of interconnection, for me, it's so important, because you're going to contribute in different kind of group. And if Seb is I think he shared this yesterday, that the future of work is going to be like you participate like sometimes in a DAO, like you're not employed like in a corporation, you're like participate in a DAO, you do a few tasks, and then you go in another DAO and you participate in another like task. And all of this, if it's like if there is a place, and that's what I call the Oversyn, where all this data, what you have done, it creates like a super avatar or like a review of yourself, and this connects all what you have done in every kind of DAO. And people, they could like find this, and they don't know it's you, but you can share, you can decide what you share and what you don't share, and then you can like sell your data. You can like, if people they want to give access to you, you can like sell contact for them to contact you. And if you are like someone who has a lot of things, of course people they will want to be in contact with you, and so that would be like kind of like trading to get access to certain avatar. So yeah, that's one of the, for me, I think it's very important aspect. And yeah, so for me, Oversyn, so it's a word from I think it's from the northern countries. I think it's maybe Danish or Swedish, I don't know. And it means review. So review, as I said, it's a review of what you've done. And also because now there is things that are recognized as monetary value, things that are not recognized as monetary value. Like in 42, the cursus is recognized, but what you do inside, maybe a little bit, but not that much. And for me, is to bring to light what is overseen in 42, but could be in any group setting when people, they contribute more, but they are not like fully recognized by what they do. In a corporation, people, they have like their role, but then what they do, sometimes it's much more, or the opposite, sometimes it's much less. But with something like this, people, they cannot, like they are more recognized to what they are really doing. And so yeah, I started this project with Alex, and now I think with all the things we realized, so it's something that is going to be more open, and yeah, we are going to start with a few use cases that I described earlier.
Thanks. I have another question for you. You
Yes.
have tomorrow. You have unlimited money and unlimited skill. How
Yeah.
do you gamify a Motoko Bootcamp? Like 3 main things that you would like to see and you think would be good for adding the this gamification and story aspect that you talk about.
Yes.
In the bootcamp cursus and even beyond that.
So I would start to do this. Like the code base of this gamification has to be like DAO managed. So that's one of the first things that we started. That I should be done.
So just to be super clear, the source code on a repository, and this repository is controlled by a DAO.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And also all the different like members, because if we want to create something that go past the bootcamp, that then you have like a reason to stay in the community. So we need to like imagine what are the different roles of people, how like a graduate could contribute, what is the power of someone who graduated from the bootcamp, how it's possible to organize in groups where if you have a project, you can feel supported by people from the bootcamp or from people like you who have a bit more experience, and how you can organize group, and also how you can experience this management with DAO and like with a lot of try and failure. So yeah, this I would like to.
So a list of roles.
Yeah, exactly.
And
yes.
an explanation and maybe a description of what this role is about and what kind of privilege it gives you, what like function and expectations.
Yeah. How you elect someone like to have a certain position, because if you are in the coding aspect and you have like a pull request, who is going to validate this? Is it going to be like students from the Motoko Bootcamp, or is it going to be only some people who have already some knowledge? Because if we give the opportunity for someone who does not know coding to validate like a new feature, maybe it's not a good idea. So yeah, all of this. And also to have this weight factor of if you contribute more, you have more weight in the DAO, and it doesn't mean you have more token, but it just means that because you contribute more, you have more power on the exactly, and you have more information. So if you have more information, you have more like right to decide where the DAO is going. Maybe not for every decision, but for some, I think it's fair like this.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
You evaluate only code, but in a project it usually have more aspects.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very good question. So how do you evaluate like the social aspect, like
The soft skills.
yeah, exactly, the soft skill, exactly. That's one of the things that for me it's overseen now. It's in the world is that when you organize like social events, there is a lot of soft skill that you develop and a lot of skills that are not recognized, you know. And for me, that's where the achievement and the experience come. Let's say, for instance, Seb, he's like at the head of the DAO. He can like give achievement and stuff, and he thinks, okay, now I think that you have contributed like, or you help more than just being a student in the bootcamp, and he wants this to be recognized. So what he does, he say, okay, I'm going to create an achievement for you, or give you experience to your avatar, or give you token. Could be a mix of everything. Like if it's really something big, maybe he gives you an achievement. If it's only like you did a few things a bit more, you give just a little, you just get a little more experience or more token. And this achievement is not like Seb who decide if you get the achievement. He's like, okay, I would like him to have this achievement, but this can be voted. Like, I want to give this achievement to you, and like everyone has to agree that you get this achievement. And could be the opposite. Like you think like, oh, Seb, he does a fucking great job, but he's like not easily recognized, or what he has done is not recognized. And you could like create an achievement and say, okay, give it to Seb, even if he's at the head and people can vote. Okay, does Seb deserve this achievement or not? And if it's accepted, then it's created as a form of soulbound NFT. So soulbound NFTs is NFT that you cannot transfer, that it's only linked to your avatar. And this is part of your digital resume, or kind of, yeah. So for me, that's to give achievement to people or experience or token is a way to, like we were talking yesterday, to recognize and so to incentives behavior. If people, they know that if they do something more, it's not, sometimes people, they just do it because that's how they are, you know, but if they are more motivated or more incentive to do this, I think it will really motivate to contribute to whatever kind of group. You want to say something? Okay. Yeah, so the last thing I want to say, so for me, it's an experiment, and anyone who wants to contribute in any kind of way, and it's not only code, really, because that's something when I said we have to set up roles, is how is it going to be? Like if you are here and you say, okay, I like this idea, and when it's ready for 42 Lausanne, you say, okay, I want to experiment here, like let's try, you know, like a DAO, how it works, and maybe we can try with this community, you know, that would be something interesting as well. And that's also part of why I'm here. Yeah.
How long has this project been alive, and how long it took you to code it to be alive?
Yeah. So what I realize now is that the coding part, it's what is for me is the most is the most scary part of for me. You know, it's like how long will it took me? Will I succeed to do it? And so I'm lucky. I'm surrounded with very good coder, but also what I realize is that once it's very clear in your mind, the architecture, and it takes more time to, from what I realize, like you have to be clear on what you want to build, and then it can be so quick. I think we can build something complex like in 3 weeks to 1 month if we are fully into it. Because this, what I showed you, we did it with Alex in 2 weeks, and it was not full time, and we were not working together like we are not so much well organized. When he was coding, I could not, and when I was coding, he could not. And we were following like lectures every day because we were also at a boot camp, and we were also visiting a new city. So it was like we did many things. Of course, we put a lot of hours into it, but and we did not follow the class as good as if we were not coding this. But I think it can be very quick. Once the architecture is ready, once the community, you know, there will be a use case. You know, I think it can be like I would say that at Christmas, at Christmas or in January, we can have something that that can be used, even before, but like something like ready, You understand what I mean by it's not really the coding, it's like all the thinking around it, and also the people who are going to use it, because you can build like a new app and like nobody use it, and it's no point for me.
Thank you, it's been very impressive.
Yeah.
So you mean that the preparation before the coding is more important, and the brainstorming sessions?
For me, yes, because you know, like now we build this, and I was thinking, okay, now we know how to build it like faster or better, and I'm like, okay, but there is no point. For me, it's better to build a DAO for the Motoko Bootcamp, and that already implements some gamification aspect to do this than to do the whole like template thing now, because we have to focus on a real community and a real use case. Otherwise, it's just dreams. And and I think that's why also Seb, one of his idea is to create like a hub for people who wants to start something. Because if you have an idea, if you want to build something on the IC and you have like already a community of users or people, you can already like, let's say you want to start a new project and there is a way to start a DAO around it, you will very quickly see how people they can contribute or how they want to contribute. And I think for startup is very useful, because startup at the beginning, like nothing, like there is no contract, there is nothing, you know, and then like everything like is people that contribute more at some point, people contribute less at some point. And if you have a DAO organization at the beginning, I think it could like people, they would feel like much more to contribute because they know that it's going to be recognized if at some point there is like a corporation that is built or something like this. So for me, startups and small group of people like 42, for me, they are the like the fertile where we have to start to experiment with DAO. For fertile grounds. It's called the Oversyn. And I would like to finish with something with what you mentioned, like all this like new if you think so, if you gamify, of course it's like gamify from real things that you do in life, but that's true that you are creating like a new world kind of. And you were talking about World of Warcraft, and I was playing until I was 18, and at some point I completely stopped. But one of the things that people like the most in World of Warcraft is not, of course you are going to dungeons, you have to kill some creatures, you have to play with each other, but one of the things people like most is when you go into big cities and that you showcase your avatar with all your equipment and stuff. But we don't need the game aspect. You can have like your avatar that represents you.
You mean the show off, just showing off your skill.
For me, that's important as well. You know, it's nice. It adds a nice touch, a nice touch, because of course, when I talk about achievement, I say, okay, you get the achievement that you contributed more to the Motoko Bootcamp. Maybe for that you get a hat, and this hat you can sell it to someone. You know, you can. I don't know if it's rare or something like this, people, they will value it. So the certificate of what you have done, it belongs to you. You cannot trade it, but the hat that goes with it, you can trade it. And this is something Seb has already done. So yeah, I think we can like think many things, but we have to start a very like small use case. And the last thing is that I truly think in our head we have very different dimension, and we have many like ideas of ourselves. And I think this represents also how it goes inside our head. Like we have different contribution, and you have one avatar that where everything is like gathered in one, but you have many different kind of contribution to different DAO, and it's like in your head. For me, we are just doing what's already happening inside ourselves, but like in an exterior kind of way, and yeah.
I think you have so you have one question in the Q&A and one in the chat.
Okay. How can this be applied to church or charity social initiatives, especially with the element of soul bounds to church? But I mean, I'm not sure about the question, but church is the same as any kind of group. You have to organize, at least the like organizational part, the management and stuff. You have to manage a group like any other with the church. So of course, for me, there is a spiritual aspect with what I lastly shared with you, with all the dimension and all the version of you that you have in your head. And for me, it's connected to spirituality. For me, it's like a representation of what happened in other dimension. But yeah, for me, it's the same, especially with the element of soul bounds. So just the only thing with soul bounds is that it's something that you cannot share, that you can only have for yourself, because there is no point that if you get an achievement, you can give it to someone who did not the thing. So I don't know. I don't understand.
And about social initiatives, maybe? Like, could you see its use for social initiatives?
Yes,
Maybe
so I said startup is very good use case, but I think this is the charity social initiative because that's what I have done like mostly before. And so I think it's very good because people, they get incentive to do something even if they don't get paid. If you like contribute to charity initiative, and that after you have like it's written in your resume, or you have an achievement, or you have some experience and stuff, people, they are going to value that, you know. They of course, everybody likes to work with someone who has like good intention and stuff. So I think that's one of the best use cases as well, where there is no money, because in startup at the beginning there is no money. In social initiative there is not a lot of money. Then it's gamification is good incentive, for me, if it's recognized outside of this group of this community.
It's the same question.
It's the same. Okay, so Ronaldo, if you have more questions, we can talk, and yeah, with pleasure.
Great.
Yeah.
So yeah, you mentioned the idea of like building kind of together that I shared with you. So I want to share what are my ideas. It's very early and I don't want to rush anything because I think it's important to have a foundation before. And that's what I'm trying to build with the bootcamp. But the idea is, I think it's really hard to like to build a startup, and there are many reasons for that. The first thing I've noticed talking with like startup founders is, how do you find a good team? How do you find a good like co-founder? It's really hard, and you don't want to rush and like take money from investors and with a team that you're not like 100% confident, because once you have the money, once you have raised, then you have to go, and it's not easy. And the second thing is, where is the innovation? How do you get the ideas, and how do you experiment fast, and how do you really quickly shift, because most of the time your first idea is not going to work. So my idea is to make a kind of a collaborative kind of hub where people would build, different teams would build different projects together. Of course, adding like brainstorming like we did yesterday, having people with expertise coming. So that would make for a lot of value added, and also having a lot of flexibility between teams. So if you're not happy with who you're building, you can shift to a new team, because it takes time to, you know, find the right match. So that would kind of solve the problem of, you know, who you want to build with. That would solve the problem of having ID, because I believe a lot that if we come together as a group and we share a lot of ideas, it's going to be like it's going to be at some point even too much ideas that we cannot build everything. Whereas if you just try to build on your own, you can get stuck on a bad idea, or like you can just, you know, not have enough inspiration. And then of course the resource, I think, is the third big point. Like everything is so new, you don't have access to a lot of resource, and there is so much to do on the educational side. Like I can tell you that my task list is full for the next 10 years. Like there is so much to do. And if someone does something, like, I mean, we should be sharing that immediately with other people. There needs to be only one good tutorial on Motoko. I mean, of course, the more we have, the more the better the quality will increase. But in theory, we just need one good set of resource, and like once it's done, we can move to new things. And I think that would make like really, really good builders. But yeah, it's not at the agenda right now. I want to make sure that the bootcamp is really good, and like we have a strong community of people, and we have the basis of like what we're doing here.
And what if you don't have to choose a co-founder, but that people choose themselves? Like if you have a DAO structure and that people start to contribute, and the people who contribute more, they are going to be naturally the co-founder because they just happen to do more things. And you, of course, in the way you validate and stuff, and you choose how you validate stuff, but people, they choose themselves, and it's even better because sometimes you're like, okay, I want this, I don't want this and stuff. But I think it's more natural that way.
I can see that happen, but I can see that also you need someone to push an idea and to, like, basically my idea is to have let's say I have 10 person that have really strong ideas and they have like a vision, and they need to be matched with builders and other, like a team kind of. I think you still need someone that push an idea, because otherwise like you need to go in one direction,
of course,
and fix it and try it, and if it's not a good direction, of course you can go back and change. But like I think you still need some kind of leadership in a team. And maybe that's the founder, maybe that's not the founder, depends on where the person wants to take the idea. I could also see that like someone has an idea and someone push the idea, and then someone is like, oh, you know what, actually I have other things to do in my life and I don't want to take this idea as far, so I will just withdraw. And like it's also possible that things like this can happen.
And I think it can happen more naturally with DAO.
But if there is the structure, it can happen. If someone can take over.
Yeah, I have a lot of problems with DAO, with your education here. First, about ownership. You have
Okay, I have this discussion, this little discussion you had here is what I have in my mind right now to actually embrace DAOs. For me, for a startup, you need a purpose and you need a vision. It's good to be able to pivot your vision once you start testing your product or your idea outside in the real world. You have to be quick enough to pivot that vision to change it to whatever. And for me, it's hard to give your idea to a community and let the community run it when you lose the vision.
But that's something you can decide at what point you give the vision to like there is always to be some people who lead, because that's how we are, it's not going to change that. But if we can make things smoother, and Seb, he has a vision with DAO that I share and that I understand more and more. And for me, at the beginning, it was more gamification, but now I realize that it's as important to like try and experiment with like all this new form of thing before to do this or integrate with gamification. And so I respect that, and I follow him, on this. It's like this. For me, it's no problem, with this. But I think that if we would organize in a DAO, like what I'm doing, like following him in Motoko Bootcamp and stuff, it would be much better for him and for me. It doesn't mean like he's going to lose something, because everything can be decided. Like if as I was saying for the coding aspect, if like you people who join the community, they are not the one who will be able to vote on the coding aspect because they just don't know, you know. And so I think it's like this also for the vision. Like people, they feel who has the vision or who has something. So yeah, but I have the same fear as you, or the same thing, same question, and I think that's why we need to experiment with small groups. In what direction? Does it like completely destroy the thing and don't give the motivation to do it?
I
don't
find
know.
it useful for public institutions, for repetitive work or things that could be automatized or sent somewhere else to be done better than how it's actually working now, or for really big corporations where you lose the sense of the management because they have these problems. They're so huge. So maybe if you can code it and have it in smart contracts, they will work better. But I find it hard in small startups. I know if you.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's overkill to do a DAO in a small community or group, and it's only good for like big corporations who, as you said, who are losing like track of vision or stuff. Maybe, I don't know, but that's why we have to experiment, right?
We have to experiment
because we can talk, but yeah.
Yes, I think this aspect is important, and it's related to intellectual property. So maybe you do, but I don't know how is it managed in general. If you make a startup and somebody starts to work with you in the startup, but then they have another vision and they start another startup. So in this case, imagine somebody is working with you, but then they have another vision and they start another DAO. Well, maybe you are on the same niche, but maybe they split into different niche, but it's something that can happen. It's not a problem of DAOs. Yes, they can copy but this is not a problem of DAOs. It's a problem in general.
Yeah, but
and here the leadership is important, and the motivation and the vision, because in the end the one who has a bigger vision works more and achieves more, I think.
Yeah, of course, but I agree to a certain extent. Of course, I have fear like this and I have question like this, but also I think like let's take it like if you open source your code, it means that someone can just pull and just like do what you're doing. But do they have the community? Do they have like open chat? Like we could just like start to copy what the ICP like WhatsApp is doing, open chat, and we could just start. But who is going to use it? You know, how are you going to take this massive piece of code and like update it and stuff? Like nobody does it, you know. When you have, that's why I think the community is more important than the code and stuff, because even if there is someone who wants to copy you, it needs to have like something more, and that most people they don't have. And people who have more vision, if people they follow them, but I mean it's good, huh? It's no problem. And I don't know what's going to happen with Seb, but for me, I know I'm going to do that, and I hope we are going to do it together. But if at some point there is like too much like difference, we go different ways, but it's okay, you know, it's no problem. I mean, I don't know, but and for me, I think ideas should be like, of course you have the drive and people naturally follow if you have like a strong drive, but it should be like given, like it's not like your own idea, it's like something in the air. For me, like what I share, for me, it's like inevitable future that people have to build at some point, and I'm motivated to do that, but I don't think it belongs to me. And maybe a little bit, but it's like a mix of Alex, what he has shared, of Seb, what I've talked with, of 42, of natural direction, and yeah, for me, inevitable.
Super cool. Thanks. I think we are past the hour. Yeah, we are just on time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Let's see. Goodbye.